Many sources may lead you to believe that alimony is a common aspect of divorces, but it is not. As of 2015, Reuters reported that only about 10% of divorce cases in the country involve alimony. Hi everyone, this is Camilla the Focus Spender, and welcome to my channel where I teach you how to get out of debt, save more money, and invest so that you can build wealth and leave a lasting legacy. So I was scrolling on Twitter, or I should say X, the other day, and I saw this post from Reddit. So someone reposted an AITA post from Reddit on Twitter, and the question was, am I I'll just say the bad guy, for telling my husband that he needs to give me half of his company if he wants me to be a housewife? So to paraphrase the story, a woman and her husband, they're both 35 years old. They have 2 children and they have 1 child on the way. And so all of this time she has been a working wife. She has her own career. Now that she has her 3rd child coming, her husband decided that he wanted her to become a housewife. So he asked her to, and she is pretty much disturbed by the whole thought of giving up her career to become a housewife. So she decided that she needed a couple of days to think about it. And when she came back to him, she said, if I become a housewife, I need you to give me half of your company. And then he was taken aback from it, like, whoa, what is actually happening? And she's like, I'm in the prime of my career right now. Like, if I continue working, I can be up here in the next 10, 15 years. But if I stop working now, by the time I re-enter the workforce, I'm really going to be cutting into how much I'm going to be able to make later on in the future. Basically, her future earnings are going to be hurt by her becoming a stay-at-home wife and missing out on various career opportunities, missing out on growth, missing out on all of that. And so she said, if I do this, then I need to make sure that in the case of divorce, and not saying that she wants a divorce, and she was very clear that she does not want to get a divorce because she did not get married to get a divorce, but she's like, in the case of divorce, I need to know that I am protected, that my years have not gone to waste, because if they get a divorce, he's still going to have his career, he's going to have his company, and he's going to have his earning potential, whereas hers will have been drastically undercut if she becomes a stay-at-home wife. So she told her friends, she told her best friend and her sister, and they were both like, you're an AH, like, you're the worst for doing this. I cannot believe you did this. And so my question is, what do you think? Do you think she's a bad person for asking that question, for requiring this in order to become a housewife? Are you a housewife and you have done something similar? Like, what are your thoughts? My thoughts is that this woman is smart. Like, she is really a forward thinker and she is really putting herself first. I am in a number of different Facebook groups that are centered around women, meaning that there's no men in the groups there to comment or for women to feel like they can't speak freely. And in many of these groups, I often see times where women post who are asking for advice. They were a stay-at-home mom. Maybe they became a stay-at-home mom after college. Maybe they became a stay-at-home mom after high school. Whatever it was, they are a stay-at-home mom and they raised their children, and now the kids are much older, and now the husband is asking for a divorce. And they're left with nothing. So in some cases, I've even heard of stories where men filed for divorce once the kids turn 18 so that they can no longer be required to pay child support. And now the woman is really, really stuck. So she has her kids that the man doesn't want anything to do with. She has to pay for them still to go to college, but they're no longer eligible to receive child support. And as you can see, getting alimony is really hard. It's not as simple as like, oh, if he divorces me, oh, if he cheats on me, I'm just going to get alimony. Like, it's really hard to get alimony. And so they're in these situations where they can't rely on their husband's paycheck, and they don't have the necessary skills to get a high paying job in the job market. So maybe they can go back to work, but now you're saying, someone was taking care of me and now I have to get a minimum wage job because that's all I'm qualified for. Think about it like this. If you are an employer and you have 2 resumes in front of you, right? And you see someone, both women, both went to the same college, both had the same major. One of them, their last job was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The other's last job was 2 months ago, a month ago. They're still employed. Which one are you going to be more likely to hire? This is just reality. If I'm an employer and I'm looking at two people that look almost the same on paper, but one of them has this huge gap in their resume, my thinking is that it's going to be hard, or I'm going to really need to train this person up, where I have another candidate who already has all the skills that I'm looking for, and so they can jump in and hit the ground running. You see what I mean? Like, it's not that easy when you tell women who have been stay-at-home moms, well, now you just got to go get a job. Now you just got to go get a job. No, now you have to have someone hire you for that job. So what are you going to do as a stay-at-home mom if you've been lovingly caring for your kids, but not being financially compensated for it during that time? And now you're in a situation where you're divorced, and now you can't reverse time, get the experience so that you can get better paying jobs. I just read this book. This book is called Jung Born in 1982, and is by an author, Cho Namjo, from South Korea. This book focuses on stay-at-home moms in South Korea. There's a lot of statistical data about women in South Korea, them becoming stay-at-home moms, about how hard it is just to become a working woman in the country, whether or not you have kids, because employers are like, oh, she's just gonna get married, she's just gonna have kids, and she's gonna leave us, so we're not going to pay her as much, we're not gonna promote her to these higher positions. And so they talk about how hard it is for women in this country in particular to just be a woman and be a stay-at-home mom, and then trying to re-enter the workforce. The challenges that may come with it, where these women, while they're a stay-at-home mom, they might get like a menial part-time job, and once their kids, go to school and they don't need to stay at home as much, they still aren't eligible to get high-paying jobs. So it really is a scary, scary thought. When you look at this country, United States of America, some of the stats are, as of 2023, about 24 to 25% of mothers in the country are stay-at-home moms. And there's another survey that reports that 52% of working moms say childcare costs have made them consider leaving the workforce. So for many women, being a stay-at-home mom sometimes is a luxury, but sometimes it's just all they can do because that's the most affordable. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home spouse, parent, and you want to protect yourself, there's a couple things that you should be thinking about doing. Are you looking for a free financial advisor to help get your finances in order? Well, you should try out Empower. So Empower is an app that I've been using since about 2018, and it's formerly known as Personal Capital. So Empower allows you to get a complete picture of your financial health. It has a dashboard that shows your net worth. It lists out all of your assets and all of your liabilities. You can do an investment portfolio analysis, so you can compare your investments to major stock indexes. It also has a planning section that allows you to plan for your retirement, plan for savings. It has an investment checkup section that will tell you whether or not you're too passive or too aggressive in your investments, and where you might be overweight or underweight in various different asset classes. And it also has a retirement fee analyzer, so you can understand if you are paying too high of fees in your ETFs or your mutual fund. So if you want to try out Empower, be sure to click on the link in my description box below. And as a reminder, the app is free to use. One, that your spouse has good disability insurance and that you understand all the clauses that go into it. 2, your spouse also has life insurance and it's adequate to cover your needs for however many years, because God forbid that person passes away and you have to become the working parent, you're gonna need that supplemental income. Next, I would say is to do continuing education or consider a part-time job if possible. So with continuing education, you could just be looking at, you could, take classes, get certificates, make sure that you are staying up to date in whatever field you're in. Let's say you're accounting, let's say you're an attorney, let's say you're, a teacher, whatever field you're in, make sure you understand what's going on in your field. You're still staying up to date with statutes, so that once you are ready to re-enter the workforce, you have good talking points and it's clear to your employer that you still know what's going on. And then you can also consider a part-time job, one for financial security, so that you're also bringing in some money. You might be able to contribute to your own 401k, but then also just for your own financial stability, so that you can feel some sense of independence, that you are contributing to the household, you can buy things for yourself, just things of that nature. And I think it also will help boost your self-esteem. And the last thing I want to make sure you're doing is that you have set up a spousal IRA with your spouse. A spousal IRA is just like a regular IRA. You can do a traditional, you can do a Roth, whichever you choose, but you guys have to sign up for it together, and it will be in your name so that when you retire, you have your same nest egg. And so for 2024, the max you can do is $7,000, just like a regular IRA. This will allow you to have a retirement account. By the time you retire, your spouse will have their retirement account, which will be a lot larger, obviously, but you'll still have something as well. And if you do end up, unfortunately, divorcing, you still have some type of retirement account to go along with whatever you're going to receive for Social Security, if it's still around, and whatever 401k you might have contributed to in the past. So what are your thoughts about this woman? Do you think she made the right decision by asking her husband to give her 1/2 of the company? Do you think that was like crazy? Is that something you would even consider doing? Quick update, I went back on Twitter, X, and I found out that her husband did agree to give her 1/2 of the company, so he did see it her way. And I, again, want to applaud this woman for her courage for even asking him to do something like this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.